Hey guys, welcome to a recap of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, episode 7, Keeping It Gucci. Now, I had to record this a little later because I felt like this episode didn't give as much as Martha Vineyard, Summer House at Martha's Vineyard. So, I had to take some time because I'm actually quite disappointed with this season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I feel like the girls could give so much more. I do think we may need a cast shakeup because I felt like we were seeing the same thing over and over again and it just feels so scripted. I just want to watch The Housewives again and not feel like they're just doing a role, a script, an act, I want to be, I want to laugh again. Bring Nene back. I don't know what it's gonna take, what they have to do, but I felt like this season was not giving as it should, given that these girls, Atlanta, used to be the top for all housewives. So we open up the episode with a business meeting with Drew and music director Rage. So, Drew, she wants to put out a music video which will take her song to the next level in terms of popularity. It's doing okay so far, but she really thinks she could do some numbers if they have a video for it. So, Rage, he is a music director who has worked with many top celebrities like DJ Drama, T.I., and Soulja Boy. So she is in good hands. So particularly what he's known for is making videos very sexual, very sexy, and she wants that direction for her music video. So Drew wants to definitely incorporate the housewives into this whole situation, make it sexy and tie in her marriage into the video. So Rage asks the burning question if Drew's husband is in shape to play the leading man because he wants leading man to be, have the abs, the body, to have that sex appeal. So Drew, she's not too supportive of her man. I feel like her man's in great shape, but she's like, hesitant to put him in that spot and she's considering having someone else take on that lead role, but she knows it's going to be quite difficult to let Ralph know about this, especially if they're going through some difficulties. So I'm not looking forward for this conversation, but I know that's going to be super uncomfortable. And I feel like Drew has to think about time and place. Sometimes you have to realize where you're at in the relationship, whether you want to help it or let it burn. And obviously, she want to let it burn, girl. I don't know. I'm so nervous for that talk. So we get to see a scene now with Sanya and Sheree, and they're doing this what we already have seen before, the cryotherapy, which is where they go into an enclosure and they're like getting cold air blown into their bodies. Pretty much they're in like an ice cube, and we've seen this before. We've seen this in different franchises. So I felt like, okay, we're getting the same repeated experience, which already kind of turned me off because I felt like already the season is not off to a good start. And now we're just repeating stuff that we've seen in previous franchises before. So now we're seeing Sanya and Sheree do this whole experience, and we know how it's going to go. They go in and they complain, oh my God, it's so cold. Oh my God, I can't stay in too much longer. It's just the same thing over and over again. And it's kind of making me look at this show as not being so organic. Like these are real girlfriends who actually want to spend time together and are not just picking up just scenes that we already seen before in other franchises. I felt like it wasn't organic at all, and it was giving very much show up to a scene and we're gonna shoot and we're gonna do this for the show. So I felt like the producers could have told Sanya, we gotta do something else. The people seen this already. Let's not do this again. I don't want to see no more cry therapy anymore in the franchise of any of the housewives, okay? So Sheree is excited, of course, because she shares the news that our girl Rihanna retweeted or gave support to She by Sheree, which is major. I feel like if you get the support from Rihanna, if Rihanna likes your stuff, oh my God, over the moon. I would be so thrilled. So that's a good sign for Sheree to, really focus on your brand. You're getting the support. Everyone is supporting the She by Sheree brand more than Sheree. And I feel like Sheree, do what Beyonce said. Your best revenge is your paper. Level up. Candy, she's starting to take some shots at Sheree, and I feel like Sheree, I think this is what's gonna take for you to take it to the next level. Let everyone dog you down so you could get scrappy and really show up. Because all the support we're giving you is not making you feel hungry to want to get it done. So I feel like maybe, the girls gotta throw some shade at Sheree to really get her to do anything. Because I just remember the repeat of Sheree and Chateau Sheree. Everyone was talking down on Chateau Sheree, and that's when Sheree finally got it together, get it done, and said, here you go, guys. This is what you wanted. This is what you're gonna get. Look at the magnificence." So I feel like that's what we got to do for Sheree to get it done. So Sheree, she's over the moon. She's happy. They go through the cryotherapy. Sonia, she freezes. Sheree freezes. And then after it's done, they have a talk to update each other on what's going on with their lives. Sonia shares that her husband is over in Austin, Texas for business. And remember, they came from Austin, Texas to Atlanta. So Sheree is wondering if Sonia is going back to Texas. I think she should. I feel like the Housewives isn't for her. I feel like we gave Sonia a chance. I'm not really liking what she's putting out. Aside from what goes on with her and her sister and the mother is so funny. I feel like that's what we get from Sonia, but on her own, she's not holding it down. So, Sonia, you could go back to Austin, Austin, Texas. But Sonia says no. She plans to have her business here in Atlanta, so she's here to stay. So she's making it work. And Sheree asked, "So what about wanting to have kids, baby number two? How is it gonna happen if he's all the way in Austin?" Sonia assures us that they're working on baby number two. That's for sure. So, the girls are talking and, they are kind of upset about the division in the group. It feels like there's two sides, Candy, Kenya, and them versus Sheree and Sanya and them. So the girls want the group back together again. And to do this, they want to have a whole situation. So Sheree recommends that she wants to do a brunch. And I'm like, Sheree, a brunch again? You already did a brunch this season. Do something else. I'm tired of brunches. Or do something else, maybe a dinner or something like that. But Sheree, she wants to do a brunch, and they come up with a great idea to make it themed based on Gucci. So they want to keep it Gucci with the group. So all the ladies are supposed to show up to the brunch in their best Gucci. I don't know if they're best, but I would assume to come in your best Gucci for this event. Now, Sonia feels like before even that event happens, she needs to have a sit down and talk with Candy because she feels like, Candy is misunderstanding Marlo, and Sanya is really taking that role to defend Marlo so hard. And I'm like, okay, that's good that Marlo has support, but I don't think we need to badger the same point to Candy and not give us anything new, anything different. So that's how I feel about that situation, and it's a dud. Because, to me, Tanya, her outlook is like, if I keep saying the same points again, it Candy will eventually understand. Because she feels that Drew and Kenya add some sauce to what actually happened, which is confusing Candy. But Candy is a competent woman. She doesn't need Tanya to say the same thing over and over again. We get it. Okay, we good. Okay. So we now get to see Marlo have dinner with Courtney. And this dinner we didn't get much from this scene. One thing that was interesting was that Marlo requested that they have margaritas for the table served in a wine glass. That was cute. I feel like Marlo, she's in control of her experience. Even, she pays for it, so she wants, her experience to be her experience. And I like that she took charge in that to really make it like a unique experience for Courtney. Because particularly, I felt like she was hosting this dinner for Courtney to commend her for giving her help And she does. She let her know that, she's grateful that she had connected her to a legal consultant who will help her get her gun rights back. Because Marlo does not feel safe in these Atlanta streets anymore, and she wants to be able to have a gun. And I can understand her point because she just went through a break in her home, in her townhome, so she wants to protect herself. So this scene was like not too much going on. It was really Marlo thanking her, but we do get a little bit of an update. She shares with Courtney that her team, Marlo's team, is setting her up on a blind date. So okay, that's something different. I want to see some of the ladies here date. Do we have much singles? I mean, Sheree's single, Kenya's single, but we don't get to see a date on camera. And now Marla, we're gonna see her date. So that's gonna be actually quite interesting for us to see something different. I want to see what kind of guy she's gonna bring to this show because she's been one of the girls who are making fun of the other girls on who they bring as a date or who are they seeing. So it's good. And especially because everyone says, oh, Marlo only dates old white men. So it'll be good to see like who she actually is dating. So this should be interesting, something to look forward to. So that's pretty much from that scene. I had to give it some spice because it was just a quick little scene. So we now over at OLG with Sonya and Candy. Huh. It's good to be a boss. If you want to film a scene, I'll use my business to film the scene. I thought it was good business strategy for Candy to film in her restaurant to showcase the food, the service. So it was good PR for her. Now, Sanya, I felt like Sanya, what was the point of this meeting? If anything, it really just shows, Candy's proving her point how these ladies, they don't really care or want like, justice or care about the violence. They just want to kind of bash Candy and her business because everyone, maybe, I don't know, and I say jealous, but maybe people don't like the shine that Candy does on her business or focus on her money, on her bag, because in so many situations, everything that they try to put onto Candy, Candy is able to turn it into a bag, into a business move, a business opportunity, which is goals and very admirable. So Sanya, she starts off nice with the conversation, giving Candy a compliment, saying that, oh, this hairstyle is cute. You look like Blaze. Get Candy happy, smiling. Candy yams. You want Candy yams before you talk to her. So she gets her happy, and then she shares with Candy how the situation with her and Marlo is not right, and she was trying to explain where Marlo was coming from, and she Candy, she kind of stopped Sanya right there because she feels like Sanya is on the fence and she doesn't really know how to take a side or pick a right side or pick a position. I think staying neutral all the time doesn't do service for you as a friend because you are not really saying how you really feel about a situation. You pretty much want to benefit and get the best of both worlds. So I'm glad that, Candy called Sanya out and Sanya had to kind of address that. She says she doesn't feel like she's taking sides. She just feels like, Marlo is just misunderstood, explaining the situation again to Candy. But Candy, she gets very vulnerable and shares that, she is not the emotional girl. She's not the sentimental girl. I feel like she is. Everyone's a little bit sentimental. I guess she's explaining it as not being high level sentimental to kind of cry things out because she herself have went through such struggles. She had dealt with the death of her brother at the age of 15, and what she was quick to learn and realize is that life goes on, so you couldn't just wallow and be sad. You have to continue and push through all that. So she's what she calls herself, a motivational girl. Like she's someone to like show what's different out there, to show better, to show advancement. And I felt like this is maybe something that's gonna trigger something in her head. Maybe we'll get a play out of this because I feel like Candy, she uses every experience, every situation as something to advance herself. She doesn't I that which I like about that about her because it's very admirable. So I feel like as much as these girls are gonna toss at Candy, Candy's gonna reverse Uno and get it back. And I like that. So Sanya gets emotional. She starts crying because Candy starts crying, and that's hard to hear. So this scene, even though I feel like, Sanya was badgering a point, I'm glad that, again, Candy stood her ground and say how she really felt about the situation. Now, the girls bring up how Sheree has an event coming up, keeping it Gucci. They laugh how funny the invite was. And, when they really did read it out loud, it did seem like something other than a brunch. It seemed like the ladies were going to probably a strip club or something like that, which would have been probably better for the ladies because we already seen the brunch this season. I think we should get to the strip club, okay? Something different, a different vibe. But the girls are looking forward to keeping it Gucci. Everyone's gonna be there, Marlo, Candy, and them. So it's gonna be a whole situation. So now we are in rehearsal with Drew, and she's dancing her little life out in front of Rage, in front of the choreographed team, and she looks pretty good. I'm pretty impressed. She has definitely different sides to her. She does give the messy side, she does give an innocent, I don't know what's going on side, but to see her dance and perform, I say, wow, okay, Drew, you're really doing what you're supposed to do with this platform, which is showcase your work so you can get to another bag. So the rehearsal is going well, and Ralph, he comes in. It seems like he came unannounced, but with this show, it's everything's announced. They know who's going coming on set. So he shows up, and Rage shares good and bad news to Ralph in front of Drew, and pretty much is letting Ralph know that they accidentally double booked the lead man, so they need him to fill that spot. So I'm happy and sad for him because yeah, this is a great opportunity for him to to also be in front of the camera and do a project with his wife, but to be considered a backup plan and everyone's letting you know that you're the backup and not the first thought, that's kind of harsh. They're joking around it, and I feel like Ralph is being a good sport, but I feel like these are the little things that can take a dig at this is like a little dig at a person. This is not going to help self-esteem. You should want someone to be feeling like they're the first choice. At least you know, I would want to feel like a first choice if my partner was doing something and I was the first in mind. I'll be like, of course, I'll be happy to do it. But to be an afterthought, not okay. If it's an emergency, of course your partner is gonna step up and do and be supportive. But to be considered a backup and you weren't even wanted in the first place, that is harsh. And they asked this to Ralph in the confessional, and he puts on a face, but we see like we know what happens after. We can see some indication what kind of led to the divorce. It's both of them. They both in the wrong, honestly. It's not just one person. So it was hard to watch. And she's trying to make have fun and say that she'll make it up later. But I felt like the whole process that how they went about it was so wrong. So now we get to see Miss Kenya Moore, and she is visiting her doctor, and she's giving updates on her hormones, her sex life, and sharing all the improvements that the doctor has helped her with. Now, most importantly, what she wants to accomplish in this meeting with the doctor is whether or not she can try for baby number two. Now, when she said what was her intention, what was her desire, the doctor immediately, her face, ooh, it was serious and sad at the same time. The doctor did what she was supposed to do, which is inform her the risk, saying that, you risk pretty much death. You risk, more morbidity. You risk a lot, okay? You're risking a lot, and it's crazy as it sounds. She says out of 32 years of practicing her doing as a doctor, that was the hardest delivery for her. And that's hard to hear. How can you continue to pursue trying for baby number two when you barely made it out of with baby number one? So that was hard news for Kenya to receive, but she had to hear the facts. She had to hear the truth. So, the doctor did raise some other options that could be possible for her, and it is surrogacy. Now, Kenya, she didn't seem too enthusiastic to take that route, but she understands and she hears the risk because for her, her delivery, a C-section, should have taken only 25 minutes. Hers, it took 2.5 hours. And also, she was losing a lot of blood. And everyone on staff who was working in that delivery was unsure whether she would have survived this operation. So, this is a lot of information for Kenya to take in. She would have to consider if she does go through with another pregnancy, that she risk not only losing her life, not only um going jeopardize going through all these risks. She can leave not only Brooklyn motherless but also another child motherless. And I can understand Kenya. She wants to have a play date, have a built-in friend for her daughter Brooklyn, but the risk is so high, so high. And she wants to have a serious talk with, she has an option with using embryos through surrogacy, which she doesn't seem fond of using surrogacy, but she was interested in using embryos to use for herself because she does have an agreement with Mark that in case anything was to happen with the marriage, that she will have rights to those embryos. And so she doesn't need to talk to Mark legally, but she wants to talk to him morally. She doesn't see herself having kids with multiple men. She kind of is on the route where she wants to have the same father for the kids. So she has a lot to think about. That's a hard decision, hard call to make. She's over the age of 50, so she would be considered a high risk pregnancy. But I really did felt for her, and I appreciate how vulnerable she was about her health. Not oftentimes people can be open, especially about pregnancy and bearing children. Women always find this topic the most sensitive because that's what you feel like you should do in this world, is to create life. So much respect to Kenya Moore, to put that information out there. And I'm curious to what route she would take. Surrogacy is not an easy journey. We are hearing from other celebrities who feel that, like Khloe Kardashian, she mentioned that since she was able to experience birth versus surrogacy, the difference between the two is that she felt like she didn't have a connection with the child that was from the surrogate. That bond inside the womb made such an impact, such a difference for her, that she actually felt some sort of guilt that she doesn't have that same feeling that she had with her previous child that she actually held in her womb. So it's such a fascinating thing, and it's good that people share their experiences, because that's how we learn, that's how we educate ourselves, that's how we get the full story of it, because everyone makes it sound easy, like, oh, you can go and shop for a baby, implant it, and not have to worry, set it and forget it, and then you have a baby and that's it. It's not that easy as it sounds, and I'm glad that these celebrities are finally keeping it real, keeping it 100. So, oh my gosh, Kenya, Kenya, Kenya. I look forward to an update on that, honestly, because I thought this was such a great conversation that she shared on such a big platform. So now it's time for Sheree's Gucci brunch event. Okay. So Sheree gotta think, has to master this seating arrangement. What is the seating assignment? She has to, separate these girls, but set it in a way that we can have a whole conversation. So she is being Andy Cohen. She's being the producer, one of the producers of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So, how she arranges is that we have Drew, Courtney, Kenya, Sheree in the middle. Then we have Marlo, Sanya, and Candy. And I thought, okay, maybe this could be, her helping for the setup for the reunion. I don't know if it would work. Let's see. It's Drew, Courtney, and Kenya. Kenya doesn't mind Courtney. Kenya doesn't mind Sheree. Drew's at the end. And Kenya wouldn't mind sitting closer to the middle. Sheree in the front middle is good. Marlo, Sanya, and Candy. I feel like Candy, since the girls were on Candy a lot, Candy would have to sit more closer to Andy Cohen, more in the middle. So I think this could be a possible seating arrangement for the reunion. But who knows how these relationships are gonna pan out later in the season. So the girls are coming in their Gucci, and it's not Gucci for me. I felt like the girls are not delivering. I feel like everyone was coming in with different concept, different theme of Gucci. Like one looked like they were going bowling and having fun, very casual. One was very business oriented. I just felt like, we could have had like some sort of like theme to the Gucci, not just Gucci flat out, because then Gucci covers many genres of fashion. So we needed like a time period, a theme. I wish we had. I wish these girls really showed up. This was a letdown for me. So this Gucci brunch event was a letdown. Everyone is coming in different vibes. I was not fitting in. So the seating situation gets brought up, and we have a switch. So now instead of what we had before, now we have Drew, Courtney, Marlo. So we switch Marlo over to the other side, far away from Candy. Then we have Sheree, Kenya, Sanya, and Candy. Okay, maybe this will work, but I feel like, if the girls really want to have a talk, really have a discussion, I think that, the Kenya shouldn't have been there, Drew shouldn't have been there, because those two, they like to add their sauce. They like to add into more to the situation, and it's not helping. And then Stanya, oh my God, no, this was not a productive brunch at all. So when Marlo enters the room for the brunch, she does not acknowledge Drew or Candy. They haven't worked things out. She, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. So that was her approach. So when Kenya comes in, I'm like, Kenya, please wear some nice Gucci. She comes in and she has the whole Chanel bag. I'm like, girl, no. She said what she was wearing was Gucci, but why with a Chanel bag? Why are we doing that? No. I felt like she should have came in some nice Gucci dress outfit. Like none of the girls came in a dress, something super feminine, high feminine. So I need these girls to do better. But Marlo, she reads them all down. Pretty much, she calls it a bootleg Gucci group. And I could not have agreed more. I feel like so let down. I feel like no. Maybe they needed more time to like get like their pieces together. But I felt like they should have really showed out. Like, oh, this was such a letdown. So Sheree, she starts the brunch with something light. She mentions her text and say, "How did you guys think it was something else that you're walking into?" The girls, they laugh and agree, and it's smart. Sheree, she's starting off light before we really delve into the whole situation of it all. So now Sheree, she gets the girls together and she wants them to get emotional and start talking. And I'm like, when Sheree is mentioning all this, she starts to cry. And I'm like, girl, why are you crying? Why is it such a situation for you? But she's probably tired. She's probably tired of these girls and she wants to have fun. I would want to have fun too as well. So Courtney and Candy first, they start up. Courtney, she thanks Candy for coming to her event, accepting the olive branch, which is why she hugged her today, which was a breakthrough. And Candy, she did appreciate, and she was accepting of the hug because she appreciated how Candy came out after in the bomb party previous episode to check in on her. She really appreciated that, and she knew that she didn't have to do that, but she did appreciate that. And Candy, she's if anything very forgiving. So her and Candy were able to drop it. They understood it was a miscommunication, and what they were fighting for wasn't even a thing to even fight for in the first place. So I'm glad that those two, they work things out. Now Sanya, she interjects and she wants to address Kenya. Now I didn't see this coming and I didn't know that this was going on. I knew that Sanya has some issues with Kenya, but she added to some that we didn't know. So Sanya, she addresses Kenya and mentions that, Kenya, it seems like, the friendship is not balanced. Sanya, when Kenya broke her knee, broke her knee, Sanya sent her some flowers, and she was thinking that she was building an actual friendship with Kenya. But after the whole situation at Birmingham, where Kenya told Sanya that for her to leave, she's not understanding where she stands in this friendship, and she wants to have a friendship with her. She thought they were on the right path, but Kenya, she addresses the situation. But before that, I get to that. Tanya also mentioned that Kenya was lukewarm at Ross's birthday party. So she's trying to figure out what's the issue, what's the tension. Now, Kenya, she mentions that, let me keep it 100 with you. I just don't trust you. You're not loyal to me. And I'm like, Kenya, please spill the tea. What's going on? What do we not know? So she mentions that, Sanya was on this went on this particular show, which was Watch What Happens Live, and she mentioned a comment that was not uh in a good light, or a good uh, pretty much it was offensive towards Kenya. And what Sanya said was pretty much she didn't know if Kenya's butt was real or not, and making it a big joke. Where Kenya felt like, oh, she could have just said that, oh, I don't know, but say that she looked nice to keep it cute and keep it moving. But this starts off a whole discussion where everyone is like wondering, well, not wondering, everyone is thinking, okay, that butt may be fake, leaning towards fake than it being real. And it becomes a whole hilarious, shady moment, because we even have, Drew saying that, Kenya loses weight, she gains weight, but the booty stays the same. And I'm like, Drew, why would you say that? I know Drew's gonna be offended when they come for her body. So why would she come for someone else's body? You can't come for someone's body if you're not giving body, okay? That's so risky. I would never. Don't come for her if she didn't send for you. So I know Kenya's gonna be ready for Drew when she watch back this episode, okay? So Sanya, she still don't know if the booty's real or not, but she just doesn't know. And Kenya, she doesn't address it, but it's funny and hilarious that we have a light moment, and then we had the shady producers doing a side by side of Kenya before Dancing with the Stars and after dancing, and you see her lose weight, but the booty still stays the same. I'm like, damn. I wonder if Andy Cohen's gonna ask her. I wonder how Kenya, she's gonna be ready for this. So ooh, I can't wait for this part, okay? So Sheree, she wants, Kenya to just own it. And Marlo, you see, Marlo just feels like, this is just Kenya trying to pick a fight with Sanya. So I don't know what it is. These two, it doesn't seem like they are meant to be friends. It just doesn't seem like they mesh. Kenya wants, her friends to be loyal to her, and she feels that, Sanya is loyal to Marlo, which is why her and Marlo are friends, and Sanya and Kenya are not as close. So, I don't know what's gonna come from this, but I don't see these two as friends. I just think they just don't click. It's not a fit for me, which is why I don't think, Sanya's gonna last long in this franchise, because if she aligns herself with Marlo is new. If you want to look at and pick your sides and think about longevity in this game, I would be friends with Candy. I would be friends with Kenya. So, mm, I'm sorry, Sanya. This may be not for you. So now it's time for the ladies to address Marlo. Marlo says that it's not that serious, and she just wanted was a better reaction from Candy at the end of the day. And I feel like that's probably what I felt it was genuine, because it made sense that, oh, the reason why she's upset with Candy, because she wanted Candy to be more, showing more emotion. Marlo was feeling a little bit needy, especially when she calls and refers to Candy as her friend for 10 years. Yeah, they fight, but that's what friends do, and they make up. So for Candy to circle back and be friends with Marlo again, there must be something that draws these two together, okay? So Kenya, she questions it, she shouts, she's throwing shade, she's like, this is not genuine, this is BS. But Marlo, she's being calm and saying that she wants to move forward and get along with all the girls moving forward. But we have Kenya, we have Kenya and Candy feeling like this is not genuine, and they have every right to think what they want to think about what Marlo is saying. Now, Marlo, she's trying to express herself and get her side across, but the ladies are cutting her off and not letting her talk to Candy. So Sheree is annoyed that, these people want to speak for Candy and not just let the whole situation, resolve itself. So Marlo, of course, feeling overwhelmed, she leaves the whole situation. Sheree, she goes after her and bring her back. And now we see Sanya and Candy having a talk, and Candy is just annoyed with Sanya being Marlo's lawyer because she's saying the same thing over and over and over again. We are not getting anything new. Sanya, this is not working for you. So here at the end of the day, Sheree is happy that she at least got 4 out of the 7 ladies to talk and resolve the situation. So this brunch was a successful brunch in her book. Now, the preview for the next episode is giving a lot. I'm gonna give y'all a chance. Okay, because the preview was giving really, really, really interesting. So we get to see Drew music video. So we're gonna see how the ladies take a part of the music video. Marlo's gonna be in a blind date, and then we get Candy versus Miss Sheree, Miss She by Sheree. So I think next episode should be interesting. I think next episode should be over a 7. But this one, I'm gonna give it 7.2. It was okay. I'm just feeling like, same old. And I wanna see how these ladies are gonna, close out this season. So hopefully on a good note. I hope for it, guys. I hope for it. So guys, if you enjoyed this recap, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate every one of you. And as always, share as much kindness as possible. Bye, guys.